All right, hello, welcome to the third Guildies podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host, Bear.
Hello.
Yeah, the Australian wonder. And we have a guest with us today, my good friend, Cole, or you can
Hello.
call him Young Pasta. And today's episode, we're going to focus a little bit on Halo. We're going to not do WoW. I was going to do some WoW news, but there was not any important WoW news that happened. We were going to do a cyberpunk thing too, and I know Bear probably wants to talk a little bit about I believe he made some amendments to his rating from last time, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So let's jump right into it. What we're going to do here is we're going to cover all the Halos that came out on MCC, because we have all recently played them in the last year or so, right? And then we're going to talk about our experiences with it. We're going to talk about how well some of the games have aged, how different facets of the game has aged, and then talk a little bit about maybe what we're looking for in Infinite. Unfortunately, ODST and Halo 5 will not be mentioned in great detail here because I did not play 5 and I have not replayed ODST. So without a further ado, I will kick off our Halo
Olympics.
Halo Olympics.
The big game, as it were.
Yeah,
I like to receive.
Yeah, we like Fortnite is where we're going.
Kind of where I'm at with
Is where we're going with this. So Halo 1. Let's just start with the campaign. Where do we start with the campaign? I love Halo 1. I played Halo 1 at the behest of my wonderful law-abiding brother when I was 7, maybe. It had to have been 2002 or 3. It was before Halo 2 came out, I think.
Halo 1 sounds like it came out around then. I mean, when the Xbox One come out, it was
Yeah, it had to have been pretty early.
We were probably at that age, yeah.
Yeah, we were super duper. At least me and you were. Bears
2001 it came out.
Okay, right. Yeah, so that's... Wait, before or after 9/11?
15th of November.
Yeah, I heard they had to cut out a lot of the religious fanaticism in Halo 1. Not really sure why, and then they had a deleted scene in the director's cut.
Oh no.
Where all the Covenants were learning how to fly but not land.
Yeah, that is weird. You're making a good point. That is
kind of crazy. NGO.
So quirky, if you would, yeah. So Halo 1 was obviously a huge step in just FPS gaming in general, and was a big step. And I go back to this all the time, that I feel like when they made Halo, they didn't really know where they were going with it. And you can tell from even the gameplay demos, have you guys ever seen the pre footage of Halo?
It's different. It's it's because it was on Mac and shit, right? It was just a very different game to what eventually.
Well, it was extremely different, and it had dinosaurs and stuff, and the focus of the game was really, really, it was different. They didn't feel like they know what they wanted to make. And then 1 ended up being just a huge step for gaming. Now, when we go back to it,
one quick thing I
go for it.
want to point out that I think I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Halo 1 originally start out as an RTS? That was Bungie's original plan, I thought.
I think it was meant to be a strategy or something, an RTS strategy developed for the Mac. But
they started development on that around Age of Empires 2.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it was right around there, late 90s, and that was the hype train. Was everybody wanted an Age of Empires 2 killer?
Oh, I want that now.
Yeah, it was really.
I'm praying for a brick. So.
Yeah. So as far as how it's aged, I don't think it's aged particularly well. The engine definitely has not.
Yeah,
There's
it suffers. I should say it suffers a lot. It like holds up enough where it's playable, but it's like rough. It's really rough around some edges.
yeah, well, and I think a big problem, and we'll talk about this more when we get into like Reach and 4, which I have developed some controversial opinions on. But I think one, and this you could just include the multiplayer in what we're talking about now because the game is not that vast. It's aged really badly. It was supposed to be like Quake-esque, right? It's an arena shooter. There's not a lot of realism to it. I think that the medium and the pace it has made sense for console, right? When you were like just getting analog sticks.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
people weren't just like lightning fast and nimble with it. But now I think it's aged really, really bad. Like to the point where like I have zero desire to ever play or think about Halo 1 ever again. And
I'm sorry.
No, go on. No, you got the talking stick, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. My thing with Halo 1's multiplayer is think of something you enjoyed as a kid outside of video games, some physical activity. And now think about doing it in your mid-20s. So like for example, like going to the watering hole and jumping into the lake, and you're like, "Oh, this is so fun when I was, 10, 11, 12." And now you try to do it and you're like, "Wow, this water smells like shit."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm swimming in feces.
I've swallowed 16 ounces of algae.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. And I was thinking about a story recently. One of my good friends in high school and into college, we went with his sister and some friends wherever to this watering hole out in like Vassar. I shouldn't be using stuff out in. It's fine. Out in Vassar. And it was nighttime, and we all got in the lake. And I couldn't see the bottom of the water or anything, but there was an insane amount of like algae and seaweed. So you felt stuff on your feet.
Oh.
And I think about doing that now, and that's got to only be like 7 or 8 years ago. Wow, I'm old. There's no fucking way I'd do that now.
It's only downhill from here.
Yeah, right. Now. Yeah, this is horrible. But that's a good point. I don't think it holds up as well as it did.
Because I'm sorry.
Go on, Petri.
I always interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're yeah. I hate you.
Yeah. I just remember like in high school, some of my favorite memories in high school wasn't, hanging out with my friends or anything. It was going to CAD class and starting up a local lobby for Halo CE. And our teacher was oblivious. He just thought we were just really passionate about CAD.
Oh, dude.
That's
awesome.
Which is really weird because I wouldn't put "go fuck yourself" in the same realm as CAD. Maybe if it crashed, but I wouldn't stand up out of my chair and point at somebody and tell them to go fuck themselves or I fuck their mother.
Jesus Christ.
What the heck?
Anyways, I think when they did the remaster, right? Was it the anniversary edition? I forget what title they used for it.
It was the anniversary edition of Halo CE. Yeah.
It is lipstick on a pig. The game is equally as
It's debatably worse.
Yeah.
It's like besides the game visually looking a bit better, it was all ripped assets, and I'm pretty sure there's like the game was just overall there was like parts of the game which were modified, I think, or something like that, and it looked worse even, and it played worse than the original CE. It was really bad.
It still plays like dog shit. Me and you played through a bunch of one with the anniversary graphics on, and like Dude, it is still the unresponsive, slow, stiff fucking pile of shit it was then, and I was too young to know better.
Yeah, it. I remember. Yeah, I remember like getting that, and I was like so excited about it, and like this is on the 360, so this obviously was like trash as it is, but
Right, right.
like it was like I was so blinded at the time. I didn't even think about the fact that it was just ripped assets from Reach.
Yeah, it was the
Like
exact same engine.
like holy shit.
Which and not to get too far ahead, Reach looked good.
Reach did look
Compared
good. Yeah,
Reach,
absolutely.
Reach
But,
holds
like,
up really well.
yeah, and like CE's like HD quote unquote from 480p to 720p.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It just doesn't hold up. It's like Nightmare Vision goggles.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah. Let me try these
That's all I
Nightmare
think,
Vision
yeah.
on. And it's just the first level of Halo. You're in that open
Yeah.
field and there's no assets or anything around. You're like, it looks the
It's
same.
everything looks the same.
Jesus.
So the multiplayer in one was not online originally. There was eventually support for it on PC, I believe, when it came to PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there wasn't in like the base Xbox One, not Xbox One, but like original Xbox.
Original.
OG block of shit.
Dad's VC.
Yeah, Dad's VCR. It had LAN, which was again obviously revolutionary. And don't take any of what we're saying here is that we don't respect the game for what it did, but
it's just being a bit. It's being realistic that the game doesn't. It's not what everyone like. It's not what it was back in those years.
yeah, dude. Like Pong obviously was amazing at some point in time. I don't want to fucking play Pong. I'm sorry.
You will not catch a single person
Yeah.
playing Pong in 2020.
Half-Life is another good example of that too.
That is a great example. That in fact,
Like, the original Half-Life.
yeah, I wanted to bring that up in another one. But absolutely, the original Gold Source feels like shit.
The
It looks
movement
like
in
shit.
Gold Source is fine. I don't think there's a single issue with the movement in Gold Source because if you look, I'm not really trying to use speedrunning as a benchmark here, but no, I'm just saying like the speedrunning in Half-Life, any of the Gold Source games is wacky.
Right.
But it's also really unintuitive how you have to do, with frame manipulation and all that.
Right. And that's Half-Life 1 for me gets more of a pass just because I think it holds up as a game still, and it spurred on. I think I would almost say it's more important for like video games as like an art form than Halo was. Maybe. I do think the engine felt better though, because it almost felt like I was playing Quake as opposed to like Halo where it feels like I'm playing Quake but with dementia, which is not good.
Quake, but now you have Parkinson's.
Yeah, Quake, but my penis doesn't work, and also I don't know my kids' names. So we will leave Halo 1 alone. If I had to give it a rating in 2020, okay, if I had to rank it, it is very, very certainly at the very bottom of the Halos for like games I want to play. Not how important they were, not what they created, but of games I would like to play, I would like to regularly play, or even semi-casually play. It is at the very, very bottom. It's at a point where I would have to be paid to play that game.
Well, I'm not as I don't think I would have to be paid, but I definitely wouldn't like find myself like wanting to play it often. Like I might like occasionally jump into like one of the like fucking I forget the librarian. I forget the mission. The one where you storm the beach. Like I think that mission is just.
Oh
mission,
yeah.
Like there's a few parts of Halo CE which I do enjoy. Like it's just it's fun memories. Like the stuff like the I forget the level names are forgetting me, but it's like the library where you're going through like the flood levels and it's just all flood.
Upsets me.
Like they're fun to play through, but you play through them once and you're done for like a year. and you
Right.
won't come back for a year. So again, I agree. It's definitely on the low end of it all, but I think it's like still there's some elements of Halo C which I think still hold up enough for you to enjoy it. So
Agreed. So let's move on to 2, and this is where the real discussion begins. And first we're going to talk about Halo 2, just the base game, and not the expanded multiplayer thing that happened. Which did they change the engine, right? There was like engine changes
they used the Halo 4 engine for
for
Halo
Anniversary.
2. Yeah.
So Halo 2 is the Halo that I became most familiar with. I was like probably too young and too like my brain was still my head was still very soft when I was playing Halo 1. So I don't think I got to really appreciate it, but Halo 2 was the first one where I was pretty blown away by a video game. The only other thing I can think of that really like was a visceral, like formative video game for me was like Resident Evil 4, which was a contemporary with that. But Halo 2, in terms of like the campaign, I think holds up really well.
It does.
There are
I think Halo.
Go on, Peter. No, Peter, you have the talking stick. This is
But I think Halo 2's campaign is like there's like a lot of just like super like I think the pacing and the entire like feel for the campaign was really like well done. Like I won't go into too much, but like even just like the starter level, like not the spaceship or the space station when you're in the city, you progress from like to like fighting with infantry to then fighting on a larger scale, like going through like tunnels on a warthog to then going into like a scorpion tank, and then you fighting a scarab. Like the whole mission itself, it's like I think it's one of the better missions in all the Halo games.
Yes,
but
the
campaign really does like keep you enthralled with the game.
I think so. I think my gripe with with the campaign in 2 is the last like 3 levels after the one where you kill the prophet kind of drag a little bit. The one where you're the arbiter and you go into the what is that, the Ark? I don't even remember vividly the name of it. There's like 2 of the arbiter ones that are just like enormous snooze fest. The one where you go and kill the heretic, and the one where you go through the gigantic like no-go zone. I think it's on one of the rings.
Yeah. Though it's gameplay wise, I feel like they're kind of sluggish. But I mean, for like story reasons are there, but
right, yeah.
They definitely like don't hold up as well as the chief sections.
It slows down super hard. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any of the chief sections, I'm like pretty ambivalent on, and like you said, the first like Metro on is like insane. That is maybe the best Halo campaign mission I can think of that happens. It's got everything you want in the franchise comes together there, and it's a vaguely open world, not like open, but you don't feel like it's linear.
It's not open.
Right. Oh no, Halo. Yeah, there's a lot of like that mission. I think it's like one of the most like if I could like needed to think of a mission that I really liked in Halo, I would always go to that one. Even when I was like younger and I didn't play Halo too much because I only my friend had it, my cousin I guess. And every time I'd go to his house, I'd play it, and it's like every time I'd pretty much like replay that level,
right?
Because it's like it's just a good level. But yeah, I agree.
The multiplayer in 2, and I'm gonna talk about the updated
original
because original we kind of have the original, but
it's just like a quick rundown. It's pretty much just Halo CE, like the PC multiplayer, but just like the textures look better.
Yeah, right. It's a little less stiff. I feel like you've got a little bit more fluidity to how you move, but besides that, and the guns are a little more accurate. That is the big difference from I think 1 to 2 is when I'm firing a gun in 1, I feel like I'm firing a potato that's firing smaller potatoes at other people inaccurately. And in 2, like the BR feels precise. It doesn't feel like I am firing, like spraying down a hallway with the assault rifle and like praying I'm hitting something.
True. Plus this is like kind of like, but the multiplayer was also I think a bit more balanced because like you don't have the AR and the Magnum was like toned down heaps.
Right.
Too, which.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I totally forgot that the AR is not in.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
it's
SMG.
SMG replaces
Yeah,
it.
Totally
So.
forgot.
What a fun gun. I love the SMG. And also, what an amazing design. I know we haven't talked a ton about design yet, but like the SMG design as a gun is just very. I thought it was so cool as a kid. And like the Halo 2 box cover where like it's Chief with the 2 SMGs and
Like the
the
dual
Metropolis
wielding,
one,
yeah.
yeah, that was that. I mean, that was just amazing marketing and just amazing imagery. They did such a great job portraying what the game was, and I feel like it lived up to it.
It did. It absolutely.
Do you remember the commercials for Halo 2?
Oh god.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, where like it was like I can't remember them vividly, but like I remember Chief just going, "I'm gonna need another gun,"
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Ooh!" Like everybody was pogging before pogging was a thing.
True. Yeah. Pre-poggers, retro pog.
Yeah, it was PP.
Yeah. Before poggers era.
Dude, these trailers are fucking
Yeah.
rough, you know? Like holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, come on, cut him some slack.
Cut him some lack.
Yeah.
You caught Bungie lacking.
Yeah.
The multiplayer in the Halo 2 anniversary, I hate the names they have for these. It's so
Yeah, they need a better naming convention, but whatever. Go on.
It's similar to 4. It's not the same, and I feel like the engine is pretty good. I think it held up better than the Reach one, which we will get to. I shouldn't say held up better. If the Reach port was better, I think I would probably say the Reach engine feels better, but it was not ported particularly well. Go on, Peter.
Sorry. One thing I'll say too about Halo 2 is the HD for like Halo 2 going from classic to anniversary.
Yeah.
That's what that should look like.
Yes, absolutely.
Not you fucking threw white dog poo in a rock tumbler. Yeah, seriously, because like there wasn't like an HD update for CE prior to MCC, right?
There was. They used Reach assets on the anniversary edition, which came out in like.
Anniversary came out like ages ago.
Yeah, we were in high school. Yeah.
I don't even remember that. That's probably part of the reason.
It was originally it was a 360 launch.
Yeah.
It was like.
That's why. So that's why.
2011 it came out in.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, dude. My then girlfriend is really into Halo, and it.
And now your current one's just a baker. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah, we're making something happen. 2 anniversary definitely felt better as far as like it felt like it was made for PC, which I think has a lot to do with why Reach does not feel as comfy, because Reach clearly is a PC port. There was no basis in PC, which I think is why 4 feels so good, because 4 was made for the Xbox One and the 360, right? But Xbox One is basically running Windows.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, Halo 4 was meant to come for the Xbox One, but got pushed to 360, like the final stages.
Right,
of 360.
because I had it on 360. 2 anniversary, I think did a good job. I think they probably didn't get as many resources as like the ports for 4 got, because they used like a modified version of the 4 engine. But I think it's good. We played a lot of it when Halo 2 Anniversary came out.
It was fun as well. It was very fun. Like the game, the fucking ball game mode.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, Ball Netson.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I mean, yeah. The every time you're playing that game, it's just fucking. What's the song? What's the song? I mean nothing to you.
Oh yeah. Is that
It's Drake.
Yeah,
but
I
I can't remember.
think is it Forever? No.
That might be it.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Yeah, may not mean nothing to yar. Uh
Easy.
It is, and that was a really fun one, and I think they did a really good job with that. I didn't expect them to do a crazy amount with it because I assume a lot of the team is working on Infinite, and also I assume a lot more of the team was working on getting Reach to fucking work on PC because it sounds like that was yeah, it sounds like that was the majority of the work because Reach, I don't know, for whatever reason, was not as compatible as 2, 3, or 4. But what do I know? I'm just a fool.
Sumo, bro.
What'd you say, Cole?
No, I was gonna say it may not mean nothing to y'all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that you raise a good point. It might not. So if I had to rank 2 in like my list of ones I want to play that I would want to play now, and this is including the campaign and the updated multiplayer because I guess you can play Halo 2 Classic multiplayer.
You can.
I doubt
know why
anyone
you would want
is.
to.
Yeah, I doubt anyone is. I would say I put it above 3.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think
That's a spicy take.
it is, yes. Yes.
I agree. I actually agree. I super agree. It's 3 is. We'll get into it.
We will get into it, but that's mine. Cole, where does it fall on yours?
I mean, it's below 3 for me, and honestly, and we'll get more into it just when we get to 3. But 3 was like the Halo that I had.
Right.
Like I didn't have the original Xbox, so on account of being poor. And then the most based thing happened.
Ooh.
And then my mom bought me the Master Chief Edition Xbox 360 with Halo 3 Collector's Edition.
Wow.
With
Jesus.
with the steel art book. I shit my pants when I got home.
Yeah, okay, Mr.
Wow,
Poor.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, I was poor when the fucking original Xbox came out. Cut me some slack, man. We're making big changes here. Okay, don't hit me with that Bugs Bunny meme. I wish all rich people were getting robbed. Okay?
I do.
Jeez.
That's okay. Anyways, let's march onward to 3. Now I will preface this with I think 3 probably has the most nostalgia for me. It was happening at a time where I was discovering music and women and all these other things when I was like basically hitting puberty and like my pre-adolescence and my adolescence. 3 to me is what I think about when I think of Halo. I think of the art style in 3 as like the Halo stuff. All of Chief's stuff, all of Chief's lines. 3 to me, the campaign is probably the most put together, in my opinion. There's some like not fantastic points, but that never dips as low as 2, in my opinion. I feel like the campaign moves along pretty well, except for that one flood level at the end where you rescue Cortana from the
yeah.
is that the from High Charity or whatever, I think.
Yeah. Stinky ship crashed into Earth.
Yeah, when the stinky ship hit Earth,
the Corona ship.
And the Corona.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, did Halo predict coronavirus? That one sucked. Everything else in 3 though to me is a lot of fun, and the replayability and the sequence at the end, dude. When you're driving over the what an amazing ending sequence that I can't think of another game that had like that much scope of like I hate to use the word epic, but yeah.
It also a callback to Halo CE too.
Right, yeah. When you are escaping the Pillar of Fall,
yeah, bro.
Pillar of
Ardum. 3 to me is the quintessential like Bungie peaked on it, and obviously kind of stopped working on the games after that.
Good work on Destiny, bro.
Yeah, we have to create and then ruin another franchise overnight. But there's so many marks they hit on it for me, and it was also the introduction of Forge, which I think is what was really important to me, because as someone who was young and trying to create stuff, Forge was a great creative outlet for a young autistic child in the heart of America.
Young
It's true.
autistic child in the Rust Belt.
Yeah, right. So in my mind, I have a bias to it, which is why I'm trying to be really cognizant of that, because I'm trying not to put it too high. I'll go first on the multiplayer one, because the engine has aged well enough, but it still feels really retro. And this is the hot take that I was talking about having, where like when I got into that, I was into Quake, and I was into like Unreal Tournament when it was out, and a bunch of other arena shooters. It's like almost not an arena shooter. It's so slow paced and kind of lethargic, and your fights are all about how well you're aiming. There's not a lot of other inputs that you're doing that really, really matter. Positioning kind of matters, but there's like not a lot of plays to be made in 3. And so in my mind, the engine does not feel as good as Reach or 4's. And that's my hot take. I feel like it's a bad, like they did, like, you know, and it's and this is like a meta discussion about arena shooters in general. But I just feel like it's a really slow-paced arena shooter, and it has aged really bad for me as someone who played FPSs from that time all the way till, 2020, December 21st, 2020, by the way, is what that is. Current year. For me, it's left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. And when we played it again, it felt not super intuitive. It felt kind of bad.
I agree. I agree with most of pretty much everything you said. Again, like the biggest thing for me is and this is not coming from like your Quake side view of things.
Right.
This is coming from more of the Halos I've played like prior, or like even like I think I played like Reach and everything before. I never like experienced 3's multiplayer until MCC.
Right.
And when playing it, as much as I did enjoy it because it's Halo and it's Halo 3, it's just the movement and like the shooting, just compared to like even Anniversary on 2 and Reach, and just it felt like slow, and I felt like I was like it was just at times it was just like this isn't very, this isn't like the peak of, this isn't what the Halo I want to play. I don't want to be feeling like I'm in like a wheelchair shooting like a squirt gun.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's stiff. It's the stiffness in I mean, it's the same stiffness that's carried on since 1 to then, which is like, that's what they had, but
yeah. Also, I think it feels very floaty at times, which I'm not a fan of.
sure. Way more than 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Volar Bear?
Yeah, I would agree with the floatiness. I think even going from, I would even say Reach kind of has that same floatiness to it, and maybe that's just
it absolutely no. It does almost worse, but there's a lot of quality of life things that were different in Reach, in my opinion. But I would agree with the floatiness for sure.
And I think playing 4 has been nice, especially for not playing any of the MCC in the past 2-3 months.
Sure.
I've been mostly playing COD, and it's been nice to have Halo be a little bit more fast paced. But as far as 3 goes, I enjoyed the multiplayer when we were playing it. I mean, it was frustrating because of the floatiness, but other than that, I think some of the Forge stuff was great. I know you were making a map for a hot second.
I did, and I finished it actually.
Yeah.
It's on my file share, which I don't know how you get to without having Halo 3 installed. So have fun never playing that map.
But yeah, Halo 3 to me, because as far as like slow, methodical shooters, arena style shooters, I
Mhm.
guess. I don't know if you'd really consider Counter-Strike in that.
Yeah, yep, it's an arena shooter. It's
But I'm used to that where there is no running or wall jumping or anything like that.
right.
And when I played Halo 3 when I was a kid, that was what I was playing in conjunction, in tandem with.
Right.
Mm.
So
Right. So 3, in my mind, it's below the 2 anniversary because it just, as much as I love it and as much as I love pretty much every part of the game, theater and Forge, and it really almost, it innovated more than 1 did. I will say that. I will say 3 to me gets a higher respect than 1 because it innovated, map making, which was like kind of in like Ubisoft games then. Like I think Far Cry 2 had a map maker, but they're like contemporaries. But there wasn't a lot of games that was actually letting you freeform make a map. And just in that aspect alone is what kept the game going too, because the game continued on well beyond ODST and Reach. And a lot of that had to do with custom games were so much fun in Halo. So much fun. And
Halo and community focus is like a big thing.
it is a
Like, it's
huge thing. And it kept it going for a long, long, long time. And that part of it I will always, always cherish and love. And if there was ever huge communities that were doing it again, I would hope I would be involved in it. The thing is just vaguely competitive FPS in Halo 3 is just not doing it for me anymore. So that's that. That's 3. We'll leave that one there. Let's talk about Reach. Now this is where the discussion gets really, really hairy.
Ooh.
So Reach is the one I played. I was graduating high school. No, was it 2011 ish? 10, 11. I think it was between 10 and 11.
2010.
2010. Okay. So that's when I was like actually good at video games. Well, like getting good, like developing.
Old man fingers kicked in now.
Yeah,
bro.
right. Yeah, my hand-eye coordination has suffered, and I will soon die. Reach to me is the innovations that happened that everyone bitched about. Just made the game feel like I'm playing a video game that it wasn't made in 2003. Like the fact that they added like armor abilities and they added in like basically only precision weapons, like the DMR being like the main gun and also being really difficult to use, I think is the best thing that could have happened for the game. And people hate it. People lament everything I just said about it. They hate the fucking run. They hate the DMR. They want the assault rifle back. The assault rifle was in Reach, wasn't it? Yeah. But it wasn't like the main focus.
Not for multiplayer anyway, but yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't the main one. The DMR is what you got in most like regular Slayer game modes. Reach for me is probably the second best feeling one and the one I would want to play the most of. It's just aged better. It just feels like a better game. And while it does feel kind of floaty, kind of when you're jumping and stuff, the shooting feels so much better. The shooting feels like you're shooting a gun and not like a cardboard cutout of a gun and then like little flashes of light. Reach felt like you were actually shooting someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the shooting in Reach is like, it's definitely like an upgrade, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels extremely responsive. I think is like a big thing. I guess you said it's like the responsive, like with the how like you shoot someone, and it just feels good. You just pop that poor player in the skull when he wasn't looking.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, that's what you get for friggin' being friggin' red, you piece of shit.
and I think something important to talk about here that may be kind of vague to people who are listening to this podcast and are not like super into FPSs or something. There's a phenomena with an engine where when you shoot a gun, that the gun feels like it has weight, like the bullets have weight, and that when you hit someone, it feels like you are. It sounds really bad, and I say it feels like you are shooting someone. But there is a feeling that you get and a way to experience it where it feels like it's very real and it has weight and the things you're doing carry weight. So when we say that, that's what we're talking about. And I think most people would prefer that, what we're describing. Reach also had my favorite gun. Like we talked about the DMR. I really, really, really loved the versatility of the DMR. And people hated it. They hated the bloom. They hated everything about it. I think it was fantastic.
It was a good gun. My only gripe is that to this day, it still does so much fucking damage that any map that has like big team and there's a vehicle, don't get in a vehicle. If
Right.
The team has DMR.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
unless you're in like a Scorpion or like you are, what's that snaky map? Is it Guardian that has like the different Warthog paths? But yeah, the DMR is very, very strong.
Yeah, if you get into like a Banshee on like an invasion map or like just a big team battle with like and there's 12 DMRs firing at you, it's pretty much like a C ram going off.
Right.
At your Banshee. Like don't do it. It's just like, ugh.
It's pretty bad.
As just a baseline like loadout gun though, it like nails like just being good. It's just like there's no like the skill gap for it. Like any basic user can use it. Like you hit the person in the chest a couple times, break their shields, and they're dead.
Right.
But like, if you get better, as you do with a video game, and like it starts showing that you can dome people faster with like a less like one less shot or something like that, and it's just you know how to do jump shot. It's just a good gun. Like you can use it in like any situation.
Yeah, well, and you can master it, and I think that's where what Reach started to have that the other Halos didn't, and maybe the BR to some extent, but I felt like you could really master the DMR, maybe even better than the BR, because the way the difference between like tracking it's a 3-round burst in the BR, right?
Yep. Yes, 3 rounds.
The difference between tracking the 3-round burst versus tracking just one shot, I think, is significant. And I think the DMR one feels better to me. The BR never felt weighty to me. It's a reason I never loved the gun in 2, is that it didn't feel like it had weight.
I agree. I think my opinion changed that in 4, but we'll get into that later.
Yes, I agree. We will touch on that. Other things in Reach that were important and big milestones and that are important to me, Forge getting no clip for objects was insane.
Holy fucking shit. Dude, that I still remember I got to like general on the 360 version because just by playing like some LAN matches with my friends and Forge was such a it was insane. I just can't like the fact that they gave you not only no clip but they gave you a dedicated Forge world, which was this massive fucking map with like different like biomes you can test stuff out in. It was insane. Like I've never had more fun in a creative type environment game when the fact that it's a shooter as well. But like it's like I made infection maps. I just made stuff for the sakes of like wanting to make something cool. Like I made a pelican. I tried making a fucking like a frigate from the UNSC stuff. It was just a fun time, and it kept me playing even though like it was.
It's exactly what people wanted, which is why I'll never totally understand the hate for Reach, because it literally all the things that were great about 3, it just did way better.
True.
So that's mine. Cole, do you have anything to add to that?
Sorry.
Damn, we make it.
Yeah. No, I'm. I think with Reach, the quality of life as far as like the armor abilities, like you were talking about, and the controversial sprint.
Oh god.
Honestly, I think has made Halo better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I understand, I guess, why people are upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would almost be like if Counter-Strike did that. I'm not saying like Counter-Strike's held to a different standard or anything like that.
Right. I would say it's held to a lower standard.
Yeah, but it's just improved it. Like, I don't. I guess I'm trying to think of like a really witty example.
I think it modernized it. I think that Halo would be pretty much not relevant anymore if they hadn't modernized the combat.
Well, because you got to think too. Even though Halo and Call of Duty were both on the Xbox, if Halo never made that change that they needed to make with sprinting, nobody would want to play Halo on the Xbox. I mean, there would be like the hardcore dedicated people. There'd be people like you and Bear that would be like, fuck that, I'm not playing COD, I'm gonna play Halo.
Right.
But I think the majority of people would be like, they would get Reach and they would play it and they'd be like, I'm good.
Oh my God, who did that? Who did that? Who was that? Was that Greg? That was Greg. Oh, dude. Bear, were you there for that?
Bear was there.
Was he there?
Yeah,
I was there for when we played and we were like doing like swap with like 10 people.
Yeah. No, we were doing Team Snipers. It was Team Snipers, and we were on that really weird vertical map in Reach.
Oh yeah,
and dude,
someone rage quit, didn't he?
Yeah, it was Greg. Yeah, Greg's like, this is fucking gay. I'm not playing this anymore. This is the lamest. This feels so bad. And all three of us are like popping off. We're like, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, there's never been an FPS on PC until now. Like everything else is just obsolete.
Yeah.
And and Greg just fucking hated it, and I'm like, and that's what I mean exactly. But Greg's problem wasn't the sprinting; it was just he was bad at Halo.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But I think adding the sprinting feature and even any of the armor abilities really helped bridge a gap for a lot of people who probably played Halo before. And then they wanted to give Reach a try.
Well,
and then they found out Reach had sprint.
Right. And I think I keep saying this, but Halo competed with what was kind of an underground FPS scene at the time, right? It competed with Quake. It competed with the first Unreal tournaments. It competed with like TF1. It did. The well-loved classic of Heavy.
You don't do that to my man's TFC. Okay.
I'm not. It's not.
Right,
it's great. Bad. But the thing is that if you look at where those games went, TF2 obviously did amazing. I wouldn't say it's because the gameplay is so insanely fluid, though. There's a lot that went into why TF2 was and is insanely successful.
Like Heavy going pow when you explode.
Honestly, no. I mean, like the content in TF2, and I don't even know why we're going to talk about this, the content in TF2 is so much more than the engine, because the engine it's Source, right? It's not, it's good. Source has aged pretty badly in certain games, but it's just the love and the character, and the game has just got so much life to it, even if we're not talking about like how well the guns feel. Because the guns feel. Go on.
I'm sorry, you were in the middle of the thought. I think also the other thing that helped TF2 was like making that jump from costing money to then not costing any money at all.
Also, yeah, I mean Valve was like, oh, this game is not in. We're having people pay $60 for TF2. Why don't we just not even just $60 for TF2.
They're spending $60 on the orange box.
Nice.
But you got to think too. Like, I don't think you could buy TF2 standalone. Like, if you like bought a physical copy.
I remember this just had you just jogged my. I remember getting the orange box in 2007 or 8.
Yep.
But I remember seeing a copy of TF2 next to it, like TF2. Like what had to have been like an old copy of TF2 right there.
The same price?
No.
I mean, I don't know if you remember or not. Yeah.
I feel like it was at a GameStop or something, or like a Meijer.
But again, like TF2, I think when it came, I have to assume when it came out, it was a full-priced game.
Yeah, none of us were around for that. I don't know. I mean, we were, but like I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember as I didn't pay for anything back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
free to
right.
play in,
Yeah.
yeah.
But where was I going with that? Why did I say TF2?
You were talking about weapons, and I interrupted you.
Well, I thought he was talking about armor abilities. Oh no, you were talking about how
so
no one plays the game for the weapons.
Yeah. So, but Halo was competing with all these games that ended up making big jumps or ended up not being relevant. And I think if Halo 3 and Halo Reach hadn't bridged that gap into like community stuff and also then updating the engine a little more, which if we talk about the PC port is not particularly good, and my gun should not reload at a vastly lower FPS than the rest of the world is rendering at, but that's neither here nor there. It was just a bad PC port.
What are you talking about? It's film. You know.
Yeah, it's 24
Cinematic.
FPS on the
It's
gun.
cinematic.
Yeah, and then the rest of it's 144 because I'm an idiot. But
We'll get into that soon.
yeah, yeah, we will. But I think if they hadn't done that, I think Halo would not be relevant now. And some people would argue that it was not relevant after Reach, but it's been competitive enough. People bought 4 and 5.
True.
And loved them, apparently. Okay, so this next part, I'm going to segue with this. The campaign in Reach was fantastic. It's maybe one of the most consistent I can think of in any Halo game. There's not a lot of like really shallow dips in it. It feels good pretty much all the way through. I can't think of a part where I'm like, oh god, I take it back. Where you fly the ship, bad, not good.
That was interesting. I mean, it was cool in the sense that you're going into space to fly a experimental
Was
like
it
military
is it Saber?
jet.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, the Saber program or something like that.
Dude, I hated it when I was 16. I thought it was the lamest shit I have ever played, and I hate
thought
it
was
now.
cool, but it's like looking back on it now, it's clear it wasn't very refined. Like there's a lot of just like you can pretty much do that whole mission on Legendary if you hide behind the space station the entire game,
Yeah.
like the entire. Yeah, it's not a very refined mission, but it's a cool concept mission, I guess.
But it's pretty short.
It is. It's relatively short.
So the campaign for that, in my opinion, is among the best. I think it's the most consistent. The highs aren't really there. I don't think there's these crazy highs that you hit, but every mission is fun, feels good. What'd you say?
There's a lot of downs.
There are a lot of downs. I have downs. Do we want to add anything else to the campaign before our segue?
I will. As much as I think it's consistent, I think the campaign's rarely held back by the terrible writing.
Oh my god!
Like,
you know what? I forgot about that. That's a great point. I forgot about that until we played it again.
Like let's do a run through, right? So one, the voice acting is like, while it's okay for the most part, some of it is dry. It is so damn dry. Like there's some just interactions with characters where it's like, oh, that was well,
horrible. Yeah, that's like not how human beings talk to each other.
And then like the whole, as you said, the Saber thing. Pretty convenient that you're the one Spartan that had Saber Saber training that was deployed on Reach.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Come on, man. That is such a fucking.
Well, and some of the voice acting is at a point where like I would rather be listening to the serious Red versus Blue episodes. Like,
dude.
Not as a joke. Like, almost none of the voice acting besides Halsey is at all convincing. Who's Noble One? Who's the commando guy? Okay, some of his are okay, but like Cats are super bad. Emil's are super bad.
I can't decide between Jun, whatever his fucking super old name is, or Cat. I think those two are some of the worst. And I say that dude, like it's like some of the cat scenes are really bad. Like the whole when you're in the cave and she's like doing that whole like that's when she's like points out, you're conveniently a saber pilot. She's like drawing in the dirt with a knife, and her voice acting is just not there.
Yeah,
It's like, ugh, dude.
it's bad. I forgot about that. I will dock Reach a point for that. So I'm gonna segue into this and just end with it by saying, if we're talking Reach in terms of like ranking, it's very close to the top for me in like games I want to replay. It is not the top though. And it's held back by the fact that probably because it's a bad port. I think I might like the actual game more than my number one, which I won't spoil for anybody. But I think it's held back by the fact that the port was just objectively pretty poor.
True.
What's your ranking, Bear?
I mean, it's obviously it's above 3.
Yes.
It's below 2, and it's above 1.
Okay.
But, I gotta say, like, again, I think for the most, I can come back and play it. I've done it a few times.
Right.
Like, I'll go back into like SWAT or something, which that's a whole beast of its own.
True.
And it's fun. I just, again, I can't, like, I wouldn't go back to Reach to play the story. So
Yeah, fair.
I will go back to play the multiplayer. So.
How about you, Cole?
I'll have to agree with Bear. I would not go back to play the story for Reach just because I didn't feel as involved in it.
Ooh.
But like three got me. Like I dig the campaign for 3.
Right.
I think
Yep.
That was I think honestly, out of all the ones that have come out, 3's is the only campaign that I've completed.
Sure.
Ooh.
That's fair.
On MCC. Like I've done like Halo 2 campaign before, but as far as like where I'd place it out of the 5 boys, you got to remember too, I really only care that much about the multiplayer.
Right.
And that's not a dig at the campaigns.
No, not at all.
Or anything
Single
like
player
that.
single player games are silly. Go on.
Yes, yeah, as was covered in the Cyberpunk episode. I think it's somewhere on some sort of spectrum between 2 and 3 for me as far as multiplayer.
Sure. Really? So do you like 3 more?
Yeah, and the only argument I'll make for Reach being above 3 is the DMR.
Fair. Man, we all
And
love
outside,
love this gun.
Dude, the fucking DMR is amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, if you message me on Christmas Day
Okay.
and you're like, "Hey man, you want to play SWAT on Reach?" I'd be like, "Absolutely."
Costina with his
Yeah.
hot chocolate in hand, his
Yeah.
little
I got
Santa
my
hat
hot-
on,
Yeah.
My hot
wearing his
coffee.
sweater.
I got my little bunny slippers on, my onesie.
Yeah, I'm like beep 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 beep. I'm like, hey Cole, I just threw my cat against the wall really hard. Do you want to play Halo Reach?
Yeah, I mean, I will play some, like, if you're just like, I just only want to play SWAT, I'd be like, you know what? I was hoping you would say that. I'd be right happy to.
Yeah. By the way, I don't abuse my cat. That's just a
That's
joke.
what he wants you to think.
Yeah.
It's not like you'll get banned for it. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, so let's segue from that into the next part.
Yo.
Halo 4. Probably the most hated game behind Guardians, and maybe hated more than it.
I think it's hated more than Guardians.
I think it is too. I definitely think it is. And not for no reason. So let's start with the campaign. I cannot think of a title that I have played the previous ones and then gotten to a new one and been like, I don't care. No, nothing, no part of what you're saying holds any fucking weight. Nothing that you're doing makes any fucking sense. And now your AI has got cancer. This is the stupidest fucking premise I have ever heard.
Okay. We'll get through like this main part and I'll do a rundown.
Yes, you will. But I just want to say how just insanely forgettable the new characters are. The Didact, what the fuck are you fucking talking about? What is that shit? That is so insanely stupid and pointless. The Forerunners, you had this amazing opportunity to make this maybe scary or like interesting group of future or past people or whatever bullshit, and you fucking made them glowing yellow skulls in a fucking like
Again, I'll give a rundown of this because
Buddy,
steel robot. They flubbed so much stuff.
You need to take an aspirin.
I do, dude. They fucking fucked up the story so much. It was so stupid. And then Master Chief is the chosen one, or however they like.
Okay, now that is just brain dead.
So bad.
That's really
Marvel
dumb.
Movie. Yikes.
So
It kind of.
Glad I didn't play it.
dude, it's so bad. Now, I'll say this. Halo 4 multiplayer and the engine in general is easily the most replayable Halo experience you will have. And I'll put that on my fucking kid's life. I don't have a kid yet, but when he comes, I'm going to get I'm going to get a stamp, put it right on his head. Halo 4 multiplayer was pretty fucking good.
He's gonna get the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, he is. Halo 4 multiplayer and the engine is so fucking crisp. It is so tempered. It's mostly balanced. I don't know. It's a fucking arena shooter. It's not going to be perfect. The power weapons are obviously going to be good. But it was amazing. The loadouts were fun. They were interesting. They added some depth to the game. The fucking
bring back
specializations, amazing. Oh my god, so good.
Native sprint.
Yeah,
Native
sprint. Yeah,
sprint.
yeah, sprint.
Not an armor ability.
Yep.
They can run. They have legs now.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Halo 4 multiplayer is easily the best multiplayer experience you will get out of Halo to date. Maybe 5 is better, maybe, but on PC, on the Master Chief Collection, 4 is the best you will get.
True.
Hands down.
Very true.
Yeah,
Hands
I'm not even gonna argue with
fucking
that.
down. There is no two ways about it.
It's just it is. I mean, like, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the funny thing with Halo 4.
Yeah.
How many games did we play
Last
before
night.
no, before we realized?
A lot. I'll let you explain this.
So we're playing Halo 4 and we're blown away with how buttery smooth, like a fresh baked croissant out of the oven this is. Okay. And I look up at the top right because I gotta know what my frames are all the time, and I've got that little screen on. And it, for whatever reason, says 60, and I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right. And I look, sure as shit, it's at 60. So I flip the switch into maximum overdrive for, unlimited FPS to just let my GPU melt my house down. All the copper wire. And wow, I was blown away. It was like, it's seriously, it's like going from, think of like the most top of the line mountain bike, I guess. Just hear me out for a second.
I like where this is. Yeah, go on. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking of the top. I'm thinking of the top of the line mountain bike right now.
You're ripping down El Capitan, okay?
Okay.
And you hit that unlimited switch, brother. You just bought a fucking Tesla.
Why would I be off-roading with a Tesla?
Well, I mean, I think they've got an SUV. It's not important.
Okay.
You're not in El Capitan now. You're on you're like on I-75 or something.
Okay.
Going northbound. You're hitting every pothole on the way to
Yeah. I have stainless platinum rims that bend every time I hit a fucking.
Yep. Yeah, they're made out of the same things that pop cans are made out of.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
But wow, I'm blown away. And I didn't really notice that much of an issue with the PC port for Reach. I mean, there was like a little bit, but comparatively, Reach to 4, not
Yeah.
even in the same fucking ballpark,
Yeah,
not even in the same sport.
it's night and day. It's at the point where, like, if I have access to both, I don't know that I would. And time will only tell, right? But I don't know that I will really ever touch Reach again if like in a regular, like, obviously I might play it again here and there, but like we are getting on every night and we're like, hey, do you want to play blah blah blah? Like, I don't see it ever being Reach ever again for any reason.
Absolutely not. And like I said, friendship with Reach over, Halo 4 is my new best
Yeah,
friend.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Like the DMR got toned down in 4,
Uh-huh.
but wow.
Still hits like a fucking
It
truck.
hits
hits
like
like
a
a
truck.
fucking truck.
It's a lot less consistent, I feel. And
I think it's harder to use.
I think it
honestly.
is harder to use, and I think the BR is just better. I think the BR is just like the gun.
It's from when we were playing Capture the Flag. What I've noticed from using it is obviously the BR is better at like medium range. It's like that's where you probably get your peak out of it. But with the DMR, it seems like if you just hit the head, if you hit headshots, like if you shoot someone and it's purely headshots, you'll down them faster than if they're hitting you
Yeah,
with the BR.
absolutely.
I think. So,
Yeah,
but if you're just
and-
like hitting body shots all the time with the DMRs, you just use a BR. You'll get better use out of it.
And honestly, I've had more luck with the assault rifle than I have with the BR. I cannot for the life of me make the BR work.
Oh wow.
I don't know what it is, because the BR is supposed to be this fucking dump truck ass of a fucking gun. And
Yeah,
for
it
me,
is supposed to be that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think
The
that
AR is
Dev
it's
knows.
good.
Yeah, but the AR just shreds.
It
It is.
DMR gets to pick things off from afar.
Man, there is so much good I can say about Halo 4 multiplayer. But the drawbacks that I will acknowledge here, besides the story, the art direction changed, and I don't know that it's for the better. In fact, I would go as far as to say it was not for the better.
There definitely is some design choices which I'm not exactly a big fan of. Like I don't think Chiefs redesign and the Spartan redesign was all that great.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't mind the multiplayer Spartans, whatever. But
Right.
it's more like Chief stuff. I think is a bigger issue.
I think what's the reality about 4, and you got to remember when it came to consoles, it was barely functioning. It was clearly a next generation game on a previous generation console, and it absolutely felt that way. I think that's why a lot of people didn't. It contributed to why I think people were not as jazzed about it, and why I probably wasn't as fucking crazy about it when that was like way later in my high school career, 2014.
Also, this. So if you played Halo 4 on the 360 and you're listening to this and every time you think of Halo 4, you think of like this 30 FPS hellhole on like analogs, and you have a PC now, play Halo 4 on PC.
Yeah.
It's really worth it.
And
It's
for whatever reason, I think this is the least graphic intensive game I am running. I'm serious. My GPU
it runs better than fucking Halo 2
well,
Anniversary.
it runs better, but I think it's using less resources, and I don't understand. My GPU was just not as hot. My GPU is like, whatever, bro. I can do this all day. You want to kiss me? You want to fucking kiss me, bro? And yeah, if it's play it because it was in such a bad place when it came out. Except that Spartan Ops were in it, and Spartan Ops are fucking sweet, bro. Yeah, you forgot about those, right? Those
I did
seasonal
forget about
release mission things that you can do with your friends. That only lasted for like 5 of them.
I know it sucks, but it was really cool.
It was extremely cool. So, to wrap up a little bit on 4, I'm going to turn it over to my good pal Bear to talk a little bit more about the campaign.
I'm gonna defend this game real quick. Okay. So I wanna preface. I do think the story overall is a pretty meh, nothing crazy. But I think the big thing about the campaign, which I think a lot of people just don't look at because it's like, hey, you stupid. Hey, my diaper is full. Is the story focuses a lot on like realizing John as a human rather, and like who he is without Cortana and stuff. and it's like there's a lot of good moments. I think, like especially during like there's like that line with Cortana mentions to him on like the ship or something that who's the machine and who's like the person like
Right.
inside the suit,
Sure.
and it also explores John like losing Cortana. I think was like the best choice they could have done, although they just rewrote it for some reason in 5.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
because I think if if you remove Cortana, there's like more room for character growth for John or John Master Chief Jones.
Sure. Yeah. 1 1 1
Um,
1 1 1 1 1 7.
yeah, yeah, and it's just there's just again they don't know why they rewrote it, but whatever. And then and overall the story's pretty good. I think Didact is a cool enemy because it's someone John can't just shoot to death, which every game prior he just shoots everyone to death.
Right.
So it's interesting to see an enemy that he can't just defeat flat out.
Right.
You
The
know?
issue is that he like the Didact is like vaguely like psychic kind of like that.
Yeah, that part I don't understand. I'm just gonna chalk it up there that he's got some bullshit like magnetic stuff going on.
Okay. All right. I
But
could kind of accept that, I guess. It just seems like magic. It seems like they're like bridging from sci-fi into like, oh, he's
yeah,
this giant floating ball and you're the chosen
I imagine-
one and
I imagine there's some form of like gravity bullshit going on. But anyway, that's like I feel it as he's a good protagonist, I guess, or antagonist, whatever.
right antagonist.
Like
Yeah.
for John.
Uh,
And then the Promethean thing, I'm just gonna cover this real quick. Promethean thing, they're not Prometheans. There are people, they're humans that have been turned into like fucking robots to fight
Right.
the flood or something.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I agree, it's kind of dumb, but still, they're not Prometheans.
Yeah, or forerunners or however
Anyway.
you want to call them.
Like mic drop
Yeah.
or whatever. Just-
Yeah, right. Yeah, the part about John and Cortana, the premise of it allows John to have character growth is something that's covered even as far back as like First Strike in the book between 1 and 2.
Mm.
And it's very good. The books have always explored how like lonely John is and how like he only knows how to kill, right? John doesn't have like a lot
Mhm.
of personality or a lot of like social skills. So I accept that. The issue is that I feel like they stuck that story in between several other stories I don't care about.
It's that I think that is also a big thing. Is this they tried packing so much into 4, it started to go wrong, which sucks. Because I mean, if they just it's just. I think at its core, it's a really really cool story, and it could be really easy, fun to explore. But they really just jam packed it full of shit. The Reclaimer arc is stupid. I don't care what
Yep.
anyone says.
Yep.
I don't care if you're Mr. Bungie himself. The idea that he's like this 1 in 1,000 like chosen gene seed or whatever bullshit
Yeah.
that he's immune to like
Yep.
ancient weapons, get fucked. Like so
Yeah,
stupid.
that was bad. And that's what I mean is I feel like that was the standout
Yeah.
points in the story where it's like I don't want to touch it again. But
Yeah.
the campaign's fun. There are some fun levels. The ones on the grassy mountainous area that was really natural, those were good.
Mhm.
Those were good. That's it. That's all I got to say about the game.
I think I enjoyed it. I think it was cool adding a new besides not I guess like taking away the flood was kind of meh, but I think adding a new faction, quote unquote, weapon arsenal was really cool. Expanded a bit because the game was like the games leading from like CE to where 4 was. It was like they would like take out a gun here and there and then replace it with like a new gun here and there. Like
Right.
there was nothing really major. Whereas this was like a kind of like a revamp, I guess, in a way. It was like there's more options.
Right. Well, and I hope a lot of what happened in 4, it feels like they learned. I didn't play 5, and I don't want to go over 5 too much because there's like not a lot to do with the MCC.
Yeah.
But Infinite, I think, does because Infinite will for sure be coming to PC. I hope
It is.
that
It's a theme.
Infinite is going to have. I think Infinite will be great, and this is something I talked about with Cole the other day, with Cyberpunk, but I don't want to drop an "I told you so" about Cyberpunk. Although I was ready to bitch about Cyberpunk from day one. I thought it looked insanely bland and stupid. And also the months leading up to it, and I said this when we got the Infinite trailer, we have not gotten a fucking in-engine footage, like true in-engine footage of Cyberpunk. We absolutely did fucking not. And so, because Cole made the point that, well, if Infinite would have came out this year, that it would have been as poorly received as Cyberpunk, and I think that is not the case. I think whatever Infinite would have, if the Infinite would have launched on the demo that we got, I think Infinite still would have been fine. Dude, I would have
paid
$100.
Fucking
yeah, I would have bought the deluxe edition. I would off of that gameplay demo. I don't give a fuck if the game runs. I would. It would. There's no way the Halo community would be that upset about it.
Yeah, they sat through 4 and 5's release. I'm pretty sure they'll sit through fucking.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty pissed off, and I mean, not the community as a whole, but like the boomers in the Halo community were pissed off as a whole with how, I guess, not detailed the brutes were.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, that's like nitpicking. And I wasn't trying to say that like it would suffer the same fate. I was really, I guess, I think the odds for it to be rushed, especially in this current climate.
Right. No, absolutely. I think I'm partially surprised that they put off Infinite. I actually am, because it's going to be holiday next year, right? A year from now.
Yeah.
Is what it's supposed to be.
I think by December next year it'll be out. So.
I think it's going to be really good. I think Infinite is going to. Here's my you guys want to let's do some predictions. We're all going to do some predictions right now. And if you guys didn't have predictions ready before this, do it while I'm talking. Yeah, get fucked and also think about it while I'm talking. I think Infinite will be a landmark best Halo game. I think Halo Infinite is going to be the greatest Halo game we have so far. I think it will blow everyone away. I think Infinite is going to change stuff for this community. I think Infinite is going to be insanely good.
You could be right. I think I agree. My opinion on it is I think it's gonna be such a big release for not just like Halo's brand, but like as a gaming thing, that it's gonna revitalize. I think some of the more sci-fi shooters that have been like here and there. Like, cause I don't know. We had like a moment a while ago where it's just all like World War I, World War II shooters and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was bad.
But yeah, bad idea. Codville. But I think it'll bring back it'll revamp the sci-fi shooter genre a bit, because we haven't had a Halo release in years. Like the last Halo game, if you want to even call it a Halo game, was Halo Wars 2, which came out in 2017.
True.
And Halo, and the main title Halo game was Halo 5, and that came out 5 years ago. So
right.
So yeah, 2015 was Halo 5 Guardians. I guess if you include MCC, it's different, but
right.
It's a big thing. It will be big. I think it'll be like really, really. As much as like Halo games, kind of like Halo 4 story and Halo 5 kind of missed marks on some things. The multiplayer has been consistently good, which I'm very excited about as well.
And that's the point that I'm at, where like the multiplayer in 4 was easily the best. They took everything they've done and just kept building on it, and it felt better and better and better. And it was at a point where it's like, this is it. This is fantastic. And from what I heard, 5 was even more well received.
5. We're not going to talk about 5, obviously, because it's too much, and no one's really played it besides Le Moi. But 5's multiplayer, if you loved 4's multiplayer, 5's multiplayer will make you drool. Like right. It does everything that you'd probably want out of anything you feel like is lacking. 5, it has probably upgraded and it has just molded it into something better. Like, it's a big thing as well. And I know some parts of it is iffy, but they added Mantle, which is groundbreaking in a Halo game.
Right.
I don't have to run up to a wall and bounce off it as if it's a fucking inflatable castle. My guy, uses his arms.
Yeah, it's climbing
And-
for everyone who's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's climbing.
Climbing. And it's just, overall, the 5's multiplayer is better. And I really hope they bring it to PC. Cough, cough.
Yeah, that would be dope. I would definitely play that. The part of my prediction with Infinite is that they are going to support it as like a platform for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really, I don't think they're going to be doing like a Halo every 2 years or 3 years or whatever their track record is. Like I think
I hope they never fucking do that.
I also hope that. I think they're going to try and monetize a lot
For sure.
in it, and I think that the community will buy it. And by the community, I mean 2 out of the 3 people here will buy microtransactions for Halo. For
Hey,
sure.
your Master Chief can change into this cool camera color. It's only for like $10.
Yeah, dude. Well,
That's a tits for Master Chief.
Yeah.
$29.95.
Yeah. Well, dude, but like not as a joke. Like if they were like,
Chief milk.
they're like, okay, here's 30 helmets in based
Based USA.
in base Infinite, and they're like, we're gonna do a season pass, and you can buy a season pass every season, which is like, I don't know, 60 or 90 days, and they're like, it's a $7 or $8 battle pass, whatever.
Whatever they're going.
I'm just
with.
gonna give you my bank information.
Yeah, dude.
Make sure
Honestly,
this-
yeah. Well, Fortnite has that subscription service thing. Like, I will literally give 343 whatever money they want. Here's the part of the podcast, like I did in the last one, where I just start yelling. I will literally give you any amount of money after the fact under $100 for content you will give me. I will give you the 60 to buy the game, and then anything under $100 if you are making fantastic design and like creative art designs. I will give you what is basically a blank check up to $100. 343. So if you're listening, I get on
Contact
it.
me
Yeah.
for my bank information,
Yeah,
please.
I bank with Independent.
So let me ask you: when you say any amount up to $100, are you saying that the microtransaction cannot exceed $100? Right?
Yes.
You see yourself, if it was monetized in some way, spending more than $100
Yes.
over the course of this game's life.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
So
is-
in
So
my
we're talking
mind,
another WoW subscription, really.
yes.
That's what we're-
Yes. So here's my thing. If Infinite comes out and they're like $60 game, free multiplayer, which is the thing, which is concerning, but I trust them because I have no choice but to trust them. $60 game, free multiplayer, and then they're like, okay, here's a helmet, here's an armor pack, 5 full sets of armor, $5. And they're like, but here's the thing, all that extra time we had, we've got fucking 10 of these in the barrel, buddy. Okay? 10 of these. We're going to release one every month. Okay? That adds up quick. $7 armor pack, and I buy 10 of them. That's about $70. I will absolutely do that. Or they're like, here's a DLC, here's a this, here's a that. I'll buy that. And I think I'm not alone, because I think this autistic love I have for Halo is similar to the autistic love Bear has. But okay, here, you know what? I'll go a step farther. I'll go one step farther. Bear spent $30 on the fucking Master Chief skin
Hey, man, please, don't even
in
do that.
Fortnite. In Fortnite.
But I'm Master Chief in Fortnite.
He's Master Chief in Fortnite. Now that is brand loyalty, buddy. He went onto a game that we haven't played in 6 months and spent $30 before we got into a game.
And I don't want to dunk on Bear right now. He spent $30 on Fortnite for Master Chief, and he doesn't have a fucking job. That is where his loyalty lies. Okay? That is he. If it came down to it, Bear would suck dick to buy something for him.
Yeah, dude. That's why 343. If you're listening to me, number one, hire me on your marketing team. I know what we're up against, buddy. We can do it. Okay,
Yeah, he
I
knows
can.
what the lady's like.
Yeah. Nice. But two, this is insanely true. People will pay if you give them even like a shred above like an okay product. People will buy your fucking horrible microtransactions, and I think they should. I think if you want Halo Infinite to be a platform that exists for 5 years or 7 years, like TF2 was, or like Siege is, I think that's fine.
Siege.
I think you monetizing the game over a long period of time is an okay thing. K343, you have my blessing. You have my blessing right here, right now.
You have my bank number. Yeah, please.
Honest to God, I will sign up for a subscription service from Halo. That's it. I will. I absolutely will, and so will a bunch of other people.
Because Halo has a big spot in everyone's heart.
It's true. I am lightheaded right now.
You need to drink a water, man.
I ran out.
Take a breathe.
We no longer have water. No, I don't.
Oh, damn.
My cat ate it.
All right.
Can't have nothing.
I'm gonna have to beat his ass.
Yeah, true. Okay, so what are your predictions, Kohler Bear?
My predictions for Halo Infinity Loop.
Yeah, Halo Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, Halo Mobius strip.
Yeah, Halo Mobius 1. It'd be a nice little Ace Combat crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how do you feel about the new Ace Combat? Don't answer. Go on. Go on.
As far as Infinite goes, I guess I never really gave it that much thought that they would make it a long-running game like that. But maybe that's kind of what they're alluding to with Infinite. Maybe they're alluding to it being somewhat. Have we confirmed whether or not this game's open world or not?
It is.
I think it's meant to be. They say it is, but I think it's meant to be like a softer version of open world, not like Ubisoft, where it's just empty. But like the levels are like open, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like
Halo 1 kind of, but like not shit.
Well, I think it's
like as long as there's ways to get around the map in Halo Infinite quicker than walking or
right.
hoping to God that you find a warthog.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think it'll end up being not like maybe like a crazy interactable open world, but I'm thinking like Zelda open world kind of, where like there's like quest points and mission things you have to do, and it all leads to an actual purpose, not like you can watch a bear flip over a pickup truck in Far Cry 5.
I can't wait to LFG my way through levels in Halo.
No, yeah.
I miss Cheeseburger Man.
I do miss Cheeseburger Man.
Oh, I not
what a great! Can we all stop and just appreciate that Far Cry 5 was a great game?
It was a fun game.
And the level editor, yours truly had some love from the community on my levels that I made in the level editor.
You put out some bangers.
I did, dude. There's one that has like 10,000 likes on it on the Ubisoft, on the whatever their like store thing was, or like, because that was like week 1 that I was making that it came out. That was you know what? I'm going into game design, guys. I'm not. That would be insanely stupid. What a fat, saturated market.
But hey, you get to work from home for right now.
Yeah, true. Then I can. Well, I won't say what I was gonna say. I won't say. So we have our predictions, and we will come back to this next Christmas when the game will surely be out.
That's true. We can do it exact on the same date and everything.
The 21st of December, 2021. Catch us. Be there or have no hair.
If the game isn't out by then, I'm gonna fucking headbutt a wall. I'm gonna straight.
Yeah, you're gonna show them by giving yourself brain damage.
Yeah. Fucking.
Oh no, Bear! Don't do this.
I'll spend $30 on the game when I play Arbiter in Fortnite.
Yeah, they should do
Oh god, if they release more Halo skins in Fortnite. Oh.
Yeah, you're sunk, buddy.
Yeah, imagine Bear buying a Ute and he just does like a Master Chief skin for it. Or like
Dude.
He's got
Let's
like
go.
leather seats.
Making me sad. Well, I think that's all I've got today, guys. Let's give our rankings and then let's sign off. Okay, here's mine. Halo 1 at the very bottom, very close to the very, very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 3, speaking specifically about how well I think the multiplayer is aged. Halo 2 Anniversary, Reach, and then 4. Definitively.
Yes. Also, I guess I don't know if anyone caught on to this. If you are listening, we're rating these mainly by multiplayer. Like, because as much as like the stories are like hard to cover individually.
It is, yeah.
The game.
And we're covering multiplayer 2020, getting the Master Chief Collection, playing them all, and then rating them. Obviously not. You know.
Yeah, I don't think it would be fair to rate them based on our experiences when we were younger.
Right.
That would
that's like,
I don't have a time machine to talk to.
That's
young Cole.
That's bad. That's bad police work.
Yeah. I guess I'll go for my
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Halo 1 is at the bottom for me too. And not out of like disrespect or anything. I appreciate what it did. I think there's in FPSs there's cornerstones. Halo 1 is up there with a game as far as games I respect. As if you could respect something so degenerate as a video game.
Okay. Jeez.
It's up there with like Half-Life and I'm drawing a blank.
And all
But,
those
like,
other.
other like definitive games that like morphed my childhood. But I didn't shoot up any schools, so there's that.
What?
What the fuck?
All right, keep going.
It's up there with Half-Life as far as like games that made me want to play more games. So Halo 1 dead last as far as the MCC goes, but I give it the tip of the fedora for being
Ooh.
granddaddy.
My lady.
And then it's Halo 2 for me after that, followed by Reach, 3, and then 4.
I think
And I will wrap up my ranking just by saying that I have trust issues to this day from when Halo 3 came out and their slogan was, "Oh, finish the fight," and then not a fucking year later I hear about Halo Reach.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like,
Damn.
you got audacity.
Audacity.
The raw audacity.
Yeah.
Raw doggerty.
Okay, Bear, how about yours?
Mine's pretty similar to yours, actually. Mine's like CE 3, Reach 2, and 4. So, this is like multiplayer perspective.
Yeah.
Story perspective, this would be teamly different, but that's.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would be. Basically,
Yeah, like-
4 wouldn't exist. It just wouldn't be on there.
Fuck you.
I know.
But yeah, yeah, I think CE is just, as much as it's like, as Cole said, it's like it's one of those like landmark games. I think of gaming, it just doesn't hold up really, and it's just not something I can really compare into like saying like, yeah, I like CE multiplayer better than Reach, bro.
Yeah, dude. Fucking.
It's like
Yeah. Episodic reminder that if you're on Reddit, consider getting off Reddit. And if you're
I was about
on,
to make a Reddit joke, dude.
yeah, and if you're on the Halo Reddit, much like the WoW Reddit,
fun.
you will enjoy all these games so much less if you stick your fucking nose on Reddit, because all Redditors want to do is bitch about retarded stuff. And yeah, I used the fucking R word. Okay, I used Reddit. Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The only time to be on the Reddit, I'd say, is safe is when the idea of a game coming in, like when before Infinite was announced. That was like the only time to be on the Halo.
True.
Because then no one's saying for like 70 threads, 3 is just gonna ruin Halo,
Dude,
bro.
fucking all
I don't
they
know about
do.
you, but I just want to drink Mountain Dew and play 3 all day, bro.
Dude, they fucking
Yeah.
all they do is fucking bitch about every game. Every game has something wrong besides CE, and it's like, well, no, That's backwards. CE has everything wrong with it, and any other Halo game is an improvement on any part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they really fucked up when Green Spaceman didn't get regenerative health. That's where I draw the fucking line for CE. So, Reddit, if you're listening to this, go fuck yourself.
Nice. You know what? Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Reddit, how about you go fuck yourself?
How about you take this gold and shove it?
Oh! Oh!
Ain't no getting no wholesome reward for you.
Yeah.
Like,
No
fuck
wholesome
this.
chungus. You're going to make Keanu Reeves kill himself because you made him be in Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That's not fucking cool.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to hijack this fucking podcast now. Okay, this is a Reddit hate podcast.
Yep.
I hate Reddit.
Yep.
We don't fucking like Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah, we hate fucking Redditors.
Redditor with a hard R.
Oh.
You can say Reddit up.
Yeah. I made that joke in the last one. I don't remember what we were talking about. Well, Barry, it was something about WoW. I can't remember what I said. Oh, it was stupid. Whatever. This isn't even... Whatever dumbass thing I was going to say isn't worth it. Okay, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We had a great discussion today. That's it. Goodbye.